Hey there, fellow dog lovers. Today we're talking about something super important for all you dog lovers out there. We're diving into the hilarious but real signs your dog thinks they're the top dog, and more importantly, how to fix it. We're gonna lay down the law, establish some boundaries, and show those pups who's really in charge. Let's get this paw tie started. Welcome to the Happy Labrador channel. Whether you are a proud dog parent, a future pup enthusiast, or a dog lover looking for furry fun, you have come to the right place. Get ready for the endless pawsome love. From training tips to their adorable antics, our channel celebrates the incredible bond between humans and our furry friends. Number 1, you talking to me? Alright, first up, let's talk about those times when you call your dog and they just stare at you like you're speaking a foreign language. You know, that classic selective hearing. They look at you, tail might give a little wag, but they don't even budge. It's like they're saying, nah, I'm good, you come here. If it's a constant thing, if they're straight up ignoring your commands, that's a sign they might be trying to pull rank. They're testing the waters, seeing how much they can get away with. And you know what happens when you let them get away with it? They start thinking they're the CEO of the household. So, how do we do it? Consistency is key, my friends. When you give a command, make sure they follow through. Use positive reinforcement treats, praise, the works. Just keep repeating the command calmly and firmly until they realize, okay, this human means business. Number 2, who's walking who here? Next up, we got the leash pullers. You know the type. They drag you down the street like you're a sled dog and they've got a fresh scent of squirrel. You're just holding on for dear life, hoping you don't end up face planting on the sidewalk. If your dog's walking you, they're definitely calling the shots. They're leading the pack and you're just along for the ride. But we gotta show them who's holding the leash, literally. First things first, get yourself a good, sturdy leash. None of that flimsy, retractable stuff. Now, when they start pulling, you stop dead in your tracks. Don't move an inch. Once they finally stop and look at you, that's when you start walking again. And if they start pulling again, you guessed it, stop again. They'll learn that pulling gets them nowhere fast and walking by your side is the way to go. Number 3, no-fly zone pup. Alright, let's talk about those over-enthusiastic greeters. Now, I know, they're just excited to see you. But when your dog's launching themselves at your guests like they're auditioning for the Canine Air Force, it's time for an intervention. Not exactly the best first impression, is it? Plus, it can be dangerous, especially for kids or older folks who might not be steady on their feet. So how do we teach these little acrobats some manners? First of all, don't encourage the jumping. Instead, turn your back on them and ignore them completely. When they finally calm down and sit, then you can give them some love. It's all about teaching them that calm behavior gets rewarded, while jumping gets them nothing but the cold shoulder. Number 4, sharing is caring, Furball. Okay, next up, we got the possessive pups. The ones who guard their food and toys like they're Fort Knox, and they're the only ones with the combination. You know the look, those side eyes, the low growls, the teeth baring. It's like they're saying, touch this bone and you'll lose a hand. But in our homes, there's no need for that kind of territorial behavior. We gotta teach them that sharing is caring, and that we're not trying to steal their precious treasures. So, how do we do that? Well, first off, don't make a big deal out of taking their stuff away. Instead, try trading them something even better. Hold out a treat or a different toy and say, trade. Most dogs can't resist a good deal. And when they do, praise them like they just won an Olympic medal. Over time, they'll learn that giving up their stuff isn't so bad after all. Number 5, quiet on the set. Alright, let's talk about those four-legged alarm systems. The ones who bark at everything that moves, and even some things that don't. Look, I know dogs are supposed to bark. It's their way of communicating. But when it's constant, when it's driving you and your neighbors up the wall, it's time to hit the mute button. I mean, imagine this, you're trying to watch your favorite show, right? You're all settled in, got your snacks, ready for some peace and quiet. And then out of nowhere, your dog starts barking like a maniac. At first you're like, what is it? Do you see a squirrel, a burglar, a ghost? But then you realize, nope, it's just a leaf blowing in the wind. First things first, you gotta figure out why they're barking. Are they bored, anxious, territorial? Once you know the root of the problem, you can start addressing it. If they're bored, give them more exercise and mental stimulation. If they're anxious, try some calming techniques like massage or aromatherapy. And if they're territorial, well, we already talked about that in the last chapter, didn't we? Number 6, move over, it's my bed. Alright, let's talk about those cuddle monsters who think your bed is their own personal sleeping kingdom. Now, I'm all for a good snuggle session with my pups, but when you're waking up with a tail in your face and barely enough room to breathe, it's time to reclaim your territory. I mean, imagine this. You're trying to get a good night's sleep, right? You're all tucked in, dreaming sweet dreams, when suddenly, bam! You're jolted awake by a furry torpedo launching itself onto the bed. And it's not just the initial impact either. It's the snoring, the sleep running, the occasional whimpering that sounds suspiciously like Chewbacca. Listen, your bed is your sanctuary. It's your safe space, your haven from the world. So how do we reclaim our rightful place as rulers of the mattress? Well, first of all, you gotta establish some ground rules. No more jumping on the bed without permission. No more sleeping in your spot. And for goodness sake, no more hogging the covers. You can start by getting them their own comfy bed and placing it next to yours. That way they're close enough to feel secure, but they're not encroaching on your space. Consistency is key, people. Number 7, get up, we're going. All right, let's talk about those stubborn pups who turn into furry statues whenever you need them to move. You know the drill. You're trying to leave the house, you're running late, and your dog decides to plant their butt firmly on the ground and refuse to budge. It's like they're saying, nope, not going anywhere. This floor is comfy and I'm not moving for nobody. You try to coax them with treats, you try to pull on their leash, you even resort to begging. But nothing works. I mean, imagine this. You're supposed to be at a friend's house for dinner, right? You're already running behind schedule, and your dog decides to stage a sit-in right in the middle of the living room. So, how do we get these stubborn pups moving and grooving? Well, first of all, you gotta make it clear that you're the one calling the shots. When you say it's time to go, it's time to go. No ifs, ands, or buts. Use a firm voice and a confident stance. And if they still refuse to budge, try using a high-value treat as motivation. Hold it in front of their nose and slowly lure them towards the door. Once they're outside, give them lots of praise and maybe even a little game of fetch as a reward. Number 8, this ain't your buffet, pup. All right, let's talk about those four-legged foodies who think every meal is a free-for-all. You know the type, they park themselves under the table, giving you those puppy dog eyes, hoping for a stray crumb to fall their way. It's like they've never seen food before in their lives. And you're the cruelest human alive for not sharing your entire plate. So, how do we curb this begging behavior and reclaim our meals in peace? Well, first of all, you gotta establish some ground rules. No dogs allowed at the table, period. They have their own food, their own bowls, and their own designated eating area. And when you're eating, make sure they're occupied elsewhere. Give them a chew toy, let them play in the backyard, or put them in their crate if you have to. The point is, they need to learn that mealtime is for humans, and that begging will get them nowhere. Number 9, these lines ain't invisible. Let's talk about those boundary-pushing pups who think rules are made to be broken. You know the type. You tell them to stay off the furniture, they look you dead in the eye and hop right up on the couch. You tell them not to go in a certain room, they walk right past you like they didn't even hear a word you said. It's like they've got selective hearing, selective vision, and a whole lot of attitude. So how do we teach these little rebels to respect the rules and stay in their lane? Well, first of all, you gotta be consistent. Every time they break a rule, there needs to be a consequence. It doesn't have to be anything major. A firm no or a brief timeout in their crate will usually do the trick. And just as importantly, you gotta reward them when they're good. When they stay off the furniture, when they respect your boundaries, give them lots of praise, treats, and affection. They'll soon learn that following the rules is much more rewarding than breaking them. Number 9, chill out, champ. All right, folks, this last one is serious business. If your dog is showing signs of aggression, growling, snapping, or biting, it's crucial to address it immediately. This isn't about them being the boss, it's about safety. Aggression can stem from various issues: fear, anxiety, resource guarding, and even medical conditions. First and foremost, consult with a professional. A certified dog trainer or veterinary behaviorist can assess the situation, identify the root cause of the aggression, and create a tailored plan to address it. They can teach you how to read your dog's body language, how to de-escalate tense situations, and how to modify their behavior through positive reinforcement techniques. Don't hesitate to seek professional help. It's the best thing you can do for yourself, your dog, and everyone around you. All right, folks, that's it for today. Remember, you're the boss, not your dog. With a little patience and consistency, you can turn things around. The key is to be patient, be consistent, and most importantly, be kind. Don't forget to like and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more pawsome content. And as always, make sure you're subscribed. I'd love to hear about all the awesome things your furry boss does for you. Until next time, stay positive. Happy petting, and thank you so much for watching.